The Sports 2000 Sports Racing Car Club is brought to you in association with Locks for Vans.
So Richard Johnson, fourth place on the grid after fourth place yesterday. How's the car been so far?
Well, we're a little disappointed yesterday. We made some changes but didn't go the right way. So it's never quite the same setup because we're on used tyres now, but hopefully we've made an improvement and adjusted some gear ratios. You know, when you're in P4 you may as well make a few changes because you know what you got to lose. So we're not going in that direction quick enough, so let's do something about it and we'll have a go. But yeah, looking forward to the race. All the guys around me are all good, safe drivers, so we'll have a good race.
What do you think the key's going to be in a start like this with cars like these? Is it just getting it off a line, or is it trying to just survive the first lap or two?
Yeah, just quick reactions. All these guys at the front, they're all lining quick. So yeah, just make sure you don't get any wheel spin and get off as quick as you can, and just get slotted in really. And they're so even. You know, you're dragging to the first couple of corners. So just get your car positioned well and get your head down and just go for it.
So Tim, fifth on the grid, third row. How are you feeling ahead of race two?
Yeah, we had a disrupted qualifying really, so we had a couple of issues between practice and qualifying, and we carried that through qualifying, so I was down on power, but the students and MCR helped us out. We were back on pace in the race, so fifth was pretty good recovery from ninth. To see if I can carry on doing the same direction this one.
How much you'll be able to try and tweak some of the problems, or are you still carrying one or two into this race?
No, we think we're on top of things now, so we should be, you know, I think we're around fourth or fifth on pace, so if we can stay where we are or move forward would be ideal, so that's what the target is.
Track there is Nick Bates. Pole position goes to race one winner Joshua Law from Michael Gibbons. Tom Stoughton on row two with Richard Johnson. Tim Tudor, who we just heard from. Incidentally, he's a senior motorsport engineering lecturer, hence he's talking about students that he's working with, giving young people a great opportunity to get involved in the motorsport industry. James Barwell, sixth on the grid, alongside Tim Tudor. Class B pole, Grant Gibson from Peter Brewer. Lights are already on. And we are racing here again. Looks like a good start from Michael Gibbons in blue. And pole was the outside line. Joshua Law, race one winner in the green and black car. They are side by side as they go into Copse for the first time. Who's going to get the run out of the leaders? Can't see from the lovely wide angle shot from Tim Tudor's on board. But it's as you were, Joshua Law out front. So Josh Law, the race leader, Michael Gibbons in second. There in treble one is Grant Gibson. First class win of the year for him in race number one here. Side by side momentarily down the straight, but that is ceded to Josh Law, who leads. So the leading pair opened up a wee bit of a gap over third place, which currently is held by the other interviewee that we heard from. And there's a problem for David Gorst. David having a retirement in race number one. It's almost mirrored what happened to him at Donington Park, because he retired in race number one of that. Oh no, we'll come back to that a little bit later on, because Tim Tudor having a look here at Tom Stoughton. So MCR on the inside run of the gun. Now, what did I say about track limits in race number one? They're all behaving themselves. This is lap two, and you are going to get track limits infringements when the cars are racing close together. The 40 car of Tim Tudor in fifth place had a slightly tighter line, so he looked for the inside run, but Tom Stoughton's car had more momentum on the outside. There is Dominic Leslewski, who had a DNF in race number one. So much to talk about at the moment. And Tom Stoughton trying to get on terms with Richard Johnson in this one, and joining in is Tim Tudor. Again, fantastic shot. You can see the blue skies out front, or overhead I should say, and that means we've got warmer conditions than we had yesterday. Some of the drivers were dehydrated after yesterday's race, might be even more so today. And Tudor's having a look now again for third position, gets his nose in front, and he's on the inside line again, but Stoughton using the momentum of the outside as they go through Copse Corner, all keeping it this time back on the track limits. There's no persistent track limits faults there, and so race control, keep an eye. If you haven't been to race control, it's a bank of screens, and it's difficult for the officials to, I guess, see all of them. There's Newski on the outside of Bates as they go through Beckett's, back with the scrap for third base, and Tom Stoughton putting the pressure on Richard Johnson at the moment. In car with Colin Peach, who looks across, passed by David Horton in the number 8. Nick Bates goes through as well, coming now down into Nuffield, then into Woodcote. You can see how they can peel off into the pit lane here, into the historic Formula One pits as they now call it. I must say I much prefer the national circuit to the other half of Silverstone, which is used. Just a personal preference. I think the racing generally on this circuit is better, and that's just on what I've seen over the years, and we've seen some good racing so far here this weekend. And exactly that is what is going on here with Tom Stoughton, the defending champion, busy chasing Richard Johnson at the moment, with Tim Tudor not too far away, just keeping the watching brief on those cars. The rest of them are all still busy working it out. The Class B victor there in the white Van Diemen, Grant Gibson, looking to add a second class victory of the season for himself in this one, and a spin. That is David Horton, who spins in front of the traffic. My goodness, there must have been some lightning reactions to avoid that. In car with Colin Peach, see how quickly that was very cool from Colin. That's not an easy thing to do, but all the drivers have got past. Here's the view from David. Was it the downshift that caused the car to spin around right into the face of the traffic? You see a lot of them were from that angle maybe looking as if he wasn't online, but he was on the apex of the corner. Thankfully David has recovered, and I wonder if he has a problem with the car. He had a retirement in race number 1 today. 2 7th places for him at the first event at Donington Park, 5th in the championship coming here, on the basis of those 2 7th positions. So again, super racing from this. If you're a spectator or driver, it has so much to offer, Sports 2000, including a very rich history, as Steve Uff continues to fend off Josh Needham. Josh getting his first finish of the season under his belt in race number 1, the Class B driver, 13th position, which I think was 4th in class. Check that out as we go on board with Colin Peach once again in the 117. Josh Needham 5th in class in actual fact in race number 1, just checking the paperwork. And things now, of course, starting to settle down. You get sort of 4 or 5 minutes into the race. It is a 25-minute race, as indeed race 1 was, and people kind of find their level, and then they'll go through the mindset of, once the race rhythm is established, working out who it is that they can attack on circuit. We're looking at Richard Johnson from Tom Stoughton. Tom was 3rd in race number 1, Richard Johnson 4th. They've swapped on the first lap of this race. And then Tim Tudor in car number 40, again a consistent 5th place, the man from Cardiff, chasing down. That is such a superb shot. He's got that camera well set up for us in his car, and Tom Stoughton in the Locks for Vans car going around Beckett's, again continuing his chase of Richard Johnson, still in 3rd place. So Johnson with a wheel on the podium, and just thinking about this, if he stays in 3rd, he'll bingo the whole set, 1st, 2nd, 4th and 3rd from the 4 races, but he'll want to get up higher than that, and he needs to, in order to do that, I think needs to fend off Tom Stoughton for the moment. Stoughton's results thus far: 5-3-3 squadron, 5th at Donington, 3rd, second race at Donington, 3rd here at Silverstone. Yes, I know the number was wrong, but you try and find things to say as Tim Tudor again continues his chase in car with James Barwell. James in the 77 car, you can see there, working hard, trying to close down on Tim Tudor at the moment. You might notice the new LED lights around the track as well, which are replacing marshals having to flag. It's had a mixed reaction from the drivers. From my point of view, I think flags are more visible, but I don't know. We need to probably talk to some drivers and get some feedback on that. Certainly, from the commentary perspective, I think that it's easier to see flags as we watch Richard Johnson still being chased by Tom Stoughton. David Gorst is past. That's what the blue flashing light was for, David Gorst, to let him know that he had some faster cars coming. And of course most drivers are very much aware of that. David didn't cause any problems for the lead drivers coming through. David, retiree in race number 1, so hopefully getting whatever problems he had sorted out in this one. Still very close indeed between Johnson and Stoughton in this race. Peter Brewer is there and leading Class B here, Peter Brewer. That's a case of getting back onto the top step of the podium. He had a brace of class wins at Donington. Not sure if I covered that off in race number 1. I don't think I did. There's James Barwell, who was a Class A podium finish, outright podium finisher at Donington. The other podium finishers in Class B: John Owen, a 2nd and a 3rd. Grant Gibson, who took the win in Class 1, in race 1 here, had a 2nd and a 3rd at Donington Park. So all good, close, competitive stuff in all of the classes in Sports 2000 at the moment. There is Ashley Law up ahead of Josh Needham, and again you'll see right the way through the race, right the way through the order, you'll find someone to race with. So newcomers can find someone to race with. The experienced drivers obviously are going to be away and up the road and dicing with each other and having some great racing. You also will, as one of the front runners, get into a little bit of traffic at various stages of the race as we rejoin the battle for 3rd. And look ahead at the clear track. 1st and 2nd are away. Josh Law and Michael Gibbons have again broken the toe of the chasers. And Tom Stoughton, I don't think he's going to be overly happy here. A, to be off the podium, and B, wants a little bit more out of the Gun TS11 in this race, but still in for some decent points if he can maintain 4th place, even though he's actually going to be chasing for a higher position. Steve up in the white, orange and blue car as we look at it, ahead of Mike Turner. And Mike, I think, Mike the only runner in the Derek Bell category once again. So in terms of the Derek Bell trophy, going back to Donington, Roger Donnan double winner in the Derek Bell trophy there. Not quite as many runners as perhaps we might have hoped for. Roger Donnan's feet will be matched this weekend, I think, by Mike Turner, assuming he gets his MCR to the line. Certainly did in race number 1 in 15th place. So he'll be looking to try and better that, working on his lap times as well over the course of race 2. Tim Tudor being caught by James Barwell. Lost a little bit of ground, James Barwell. Beg your pardon, Tim Tudor having lost a little bit of ground to Tom Stoughton. So the 40 car still running in 5th position. And how long is it going to take Barwell to get close enough to make a move and maybe grab 4th place? So Mike Turner, the chaser in this group, 25 car of Joshua Needham. Duratec engines, marvellous sounding machines. They look fantastic as well. They're colourful, they're well prepared, and they're quick, and they produce some super racing. And a pass on here as they head up towards Baggots, now into Beckett's, and it's Josh Needham on the inside, gets the move done. Needham runs wide. We might get a crossover here. So they head down the Wellington Straight once again, round about the halfway point of this race. So Needham hangs on to that, so that was a very good move. You can see how on the edge the car was there. It got a little bit squirrely, and Ashley Law trying to hunt him down. Ashley under a little bit of pressure himself. Ahead of them, Steve Off still in the number 50 MCR S2. MCR, the company based at St David's in Pembrokeshire. I mentioned a few Welsh connections in the programme today with the formula now as Tom Stoughton challenges for third place. Stoughton's got closer, looks for the inside as they go down into Brooklands. Now it looks like he's got pace and a bit of momentum here. Meanwhile, so is James Barwell chasing Tim Tudor. So we've got a scrap on for third position and also for fifth here. So a big shake-up going on. The race leader, incidentally, is still Josh Law from Michael Gibbins. Not seen how close those two are at the moment, but we've got a battle on for, effectively got three pairs in the top six, all squabbling over their own positions. And we rejoin James Barwell, who will continue to put the pressure on, and Josh Needham coming under pressure here from Steve Huff. Looks to the outside run here, possibly thinks about going on the inside, but he's just keeping the momentum going at the moment. Mike Turner, the red, white, black car going on the inside run there. You can see the lines that indicate the entry to the circuit from the pit lane. Nobody else utilising that at the moment. So the drivers all okay going through there. It's a very long pit lane exit here, and quite early to get into the pits. Guessing probably due to the history of the track. Obviously the facility on the National Circuit, the pits facility, used as the historic Grand Prix circuit back in the day before the advent of the wingers. On the inside line here looks Josh Needham side by side with Nick Bates. Great racing between the pair of them. Needham in Class B, Bates one of the Class A runners. Again, whoever you are, you'll find someone to dice with. They come out of Woodcote, cross the line. Great racing, all good close stuff once again, and Needham I think has got that one sorted out at the moment. The Class B car, Needham running in a 2002 Van Diemen. So remember, Class B for the older cars, pre-2007 generally, or the conversion from Pinto if there was a later Pinto car involved in the mix. We've already had a look at the historic championship, and Sports 2 over the years has provided great racing. That's why it's still going, because these cars are still desirable to watch and to drive and of course to own. Superb stuff. Fastest lap at the moment is Josh Law, if I've read this right, has just broken the lap record of 57.784. We'll come back to that. Colin Peach, meanwhile, looking to improve on his podium position in Class B, the 117 car. So there is Colin chasing John Owen. Peter Brewer still the class leader, and John Owen looking to maintain a 100% record on the podium for this year. Colin Peach grabbing a first podium of the season, I think, if I've got my maths right, here potentially. He was just off the podium in race number 1. So Colin Peach not looking too bad. There is the 77 car of James Barwell, and well, James was challenging Tim Tudor earlier on, but at the moment Tim's got the better of him. So it's still Joshua Law from Michael Gibbins. Probably need to pick up on the Richard Johnson and Tom Stoughton battle at some point. There is David Horton recovering after his moment earlier on. So David Horton running well. And we were asking about the leader, and there is Josh Law. And if you wanted to know how clear he was of Michael Gibbins, you could see that from the space behind him. Was that contact? And spinning around goes Ashley Law, and that's going to drop Ashley down the order. That's a big pity. not getting going very quickly. That is possibly going to be a retirement for Ash Law. And the 73 car, 14th position in race number 1, and a bit of bodywork damage on the number 8 car of David Horton. Now is David going to have to pit? Ashley Law car's still there as the 3rd and 4th place cars go through, so we've still got Horton doing the right thing and coming into pit lane. If he hadn't have done, he would have got the black and orange flag, very possibly. Great stuff from the marshals. Haven't had the opportunity to, well, I have had plenty of opportunity to thank marshals, but this is why we thank them. They're out in hot weather, multiple layers on, and they're, with the race still live, going out and helping a driver who is stricken. Ashley Law, I suspect, is going to go into retirement. Tom Stoughton still there in 4th place. Richard Johnson immediately ahead of him in 3rd. These two have been battling hard right the way through the race. And back of shot, you can see Tim Tudor and James Barwell dicing over 5th position as well. Yellow flags there. Now, that goes back to my... I'll come back to that point in a minute as Ash Law's car gets pushed away. The point I was making is about that was a lovely shot that our director caught there, because you saw the LED and the flags. So the flags haven't been replaced, we've actually got both, and now we go into a green flag zone, you can see there, and that was actually pretty clear from the onboard, so I'm guessing it's nice and clear for the drivers. And maybe it depends on your personal vision as to which works best, whether it's flags or lights, but I think for me I probably still prefer the good old-fashioned flag. In car with Colin Peach once again. So busy chasing John Owen. Peter Brewer, I remind you, is the Class B leader. John Owen 2nd, Colin Peach in 3rd. So this for the 2nd step on the podium, and Peach looking to try and get his 1st podium of the year. 2 retirements at Donington. Got the car hooked up nicely. I think 4th in class in race number 1. Yes, he was, because John Owen was 10th overall, 3rd in class. Got the better of him that one, so Colin Peach again behind John Owen. Fascinating battle between these two. I think that was Ash Law just going through camera and being guided to safety by our marshals. In car with Peach again. Blue skies over, fabulous conditions today for this race. Track conditions ideal. This is the run down the Wellington Straight. They'll turn left into Brooklands, both of them taking a wide line into Brooklands, and certainly I don't think John Owen feels under massive pressure at the moment. There was no defensive line at all in his entry into Brooklands. Comes out of Woodcote now, and we'll head round to tick off another lap in this 25-minute race, which again, race 1 was 26 laps, so we can maybe expect this one to pretty much go the same distance. One thing that has altered here is James Barwell going for position, and this is for 5th place. Barwell's having a look. Is he going to be able to? He's on the wrong side of the track to make the move for Brooklands. Was he going to try and sell the 40 car a dummy? No, he's going to work for the outside line. See how they respect each other going in here on braking. Barwell can't quite do it, but Tim Tudor's under pressure. Lovely piece of racing between these two. Barwell seems to have a little bit more in the tank at the moment. Slightly wider line here, loses a bit of ground as they come out of Woodcote now. Here they come. Circuit commentary box is over there on the left hand side, past the grandstands, down the main straight. Well, that was a good attempt at a pass. The race leader is working his way through the traffic. I think Nick Bates was the car past there, so Nick Bates, Steve Huff in the 50 car in the mix as well, and there is Nick Bates in the number 4. Steve Huff, David Horton still going as well, but a little bit of drift. Joshua Law goes through the race leader. Now look for in the distance there, look for blue. It was just in the back of shot. That's Michael Gibbons. He's around about 10 seconds adrift of the race leader and the new lap record holder here at Silverstone on the national circuit, this man Josh Law. So if you're doing your odds test and Josh takes it for you, he's probably too modest to say he's the lap record holder here at Silverstone, but if you do get him, along with many other decent odds drivers, That's his credential there. Double race winner potentially here, and lap record holder. Still the scrap goes on for third place. On a spin! Just as we said, Tom Stoughton was putting the pressure on Richard Johnson. Stoughton spins. Now is he going to lose another place? Yes, he does. Tom Stoughton is down in 6th place, and the Tudor-Barwell battle now is over 4th position as they go on to the last lap. Tom Stoughton won't be happy with that. A spin on the exit of Baggett's going into Beckett's. There is Michael Gibbons in 2nd position. He's on to his last lap. The gap is actually over 12 seconds now for the race leader, Joshua Law. We pick up, there is Gibbons in 2nd position. So Tudor and Barwell. So Richard Johnson now 3rd, as indeed he was before the spin for Tom Stoughton, who has recovered, to be fair, in 6th place. And James Barwell chasing Tim Tudor. So this is for 4th place. The Triple One car is Grant Gibson running 4th in Class B. Gibson, I think, maybe heading for his first non-podium in Class B this year. He's got the number 8 car of David Horton for company. David having that gyration and the pit stop as well, remember, for the errant piece of bodywork. So that change. So here is the scrap between Tudor and Barwell is piling the pressure on here. Takes a wide run here, might be able to turn up the wick and get some momentum on the outside line. There was almost enough room to try and go for the outside, but he sticks as they head on to the last lap. Now he goes side by side, goes to the inside. Now is he going to be able to get the better momentum? And he does, and that's the first inside pass we've seen here that's worked successfully. Now can Tim Tudor come back? We'll have to come back and review that, but James Barwell makes it up into 4th place. Here is the race leader, Joshua Law, who takes a 2nd checkered flag here at Silverstone. A superb weekend for Law. New lap record, 2 wins, he's unbeaten. And we go back and pick up on 117, which is Colin Peach looking for a podium as well. There is Michael Gibbons in 2nd place at the checkered flag. Richard Johnson will take 3rd. Mike Turner has won the Derek Bell class again. There he is in the middle of shot there. And the battle for 4th place, James Barwell has held on. He's opened up a little bit of a gap over Tim Tudor, having taken the lead at Copse on the last lap. Takes the flag. That was a super race all the way through the field. Here we go with Colin Peach. It's Peter Brewer leading Class B. John Owen 2nd place in Class B in the blue car immediately ahead of us. And Colin Peach will get a podium there. A 3rd position for him at the checker here at Silverstone. So we've seen, seen all of our class winners cross the line. We didn't see Peter Brewer, unfortunately, but congratulations to Peter on taking that win. There is our outright winner, Josh Law, who will extend his championship lead this weekend. Some drivers clearly having a little bit of disappointment, including Ashley Law, but here's the result. Josh Law taking the win for Michael Gibbons, and Richard Johnson, James Barwell next from Tim Tudor and Tom Stoughton. Peter Brewer wins Class B from John Owen and Colin Peach. Grant Gibson wrapping up the top 10. Dominic Neslewski, after disappointment in race 1, finishes in 11th from Josh Needham and Nick Bates. Derek Bell winner Mike Turner. Steve Off next in 15th from David Gorst and David Horton. Let's join Scott in victory lane.
Well, Josh, first on Saturday, first on Sunday. Job done.
Literally could not have gone better. Yeah, perfect weekend, pole position and 2 race wins, fastest laps. Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed to say the least. So,
like more the same from yesterday, whereas you had a little bit of pressure in the initial stages, but then once you found your rhythm, you seemed to create a gap and was relatively comfortable from there. Yeah,
it felt good. Like the first lap, you know, me and Michael were very close. So but I think once I got in front. And like I say, just got into a bit of a rhythm and settled down. It felt quite easy, and it was good. Just nice to get in a rhythm and get a solid win. So, another solid win under the belt. Yeah, mega.
And that's also solid points for the championships, of course, going forward. I know it's early doors, but I mean, the start looks like it's been a pretty decent beginning to the year for you so far.
It has, yeah. It's been a fantastic start. Obviously, there's still a lot of races to go, so it could go anyway. But yeah, I mean, you know, there's. It's definitely been a perfect way to start the year.
Well, Michael, another second place. Now, like more the same from yesterday? Bit of battling to try and get yourself up there and then create a gap at some point?
Yeah, I had a slightly better start than yesterday and gave him a little bit more of a rough time, but as soon as we got onto that back straight, he's so quick in a straight line. There's not a lot I could do when he's that quick, so I tucked in and I was just about hanging on for a few laps, and as soon as that slight toe disappeared, the gap started to open, and then halfway through I developed a horrible misfire, and at that point it was just hang on to second, which we did, and I think realistically that's all we were going to get from today. So it's good points, 2 second places, we'll take it and go a bit quicker at the next one.
What do you think you need to do to the car now to kind of catch up to Josh and those guys, or do you think it's just more circuit to circuit that makes the difference?
Potentially a bit of circuit. Like, we were really quick at Donington and should have won both those races, so I think there's an element that this is obviously being quick in a straight line here is really important, given it's just sort of a triangle with 3 long straights. We'll need to diagnose the problem on the engine, get that fixed, and see if there's anything we can do to optimise the engine where it is now. Next race is brand, so maybe slightly less power dependent than here, and see if we can rag on a bit more and close the gap.
It's a shorter circuit, a bit more of a speed bowl, so it's kind of a bit more stop-start than it is kind of here with the long straights, isn't it? Yeah,
it should be slightly less power dependent than where we are now. So it's the Grand Prix circuit and I love it, so I'm hoping we can go there, enjoy it, and give him much more of a rough time than we did today.
Richie, we said just before the race that the start was going to be crucial. It looks like you got a pretty decent one, and that's what's helped you get to third.
Yeah, just textbook start really. Little bit of luck, I suppose. There was a bit of oil down on the previous race, so there was a bit of dust on the outside. I was on the inside. I knew that would help me. I was into third, into the first lap, and then really sort of held Tom. Bearing in mind he's the 2021 champion, you know you've got pressure, and I knew it'd be relentless the whole race, but I just kept working out where my strengths were, where my weaknesses were. I spent more time looking behind me than looking in front of me, but as most drivers of my age have cut their teeth at Silverstone, we know the track fairly well, so it wasn't too serious looking in the mirror. And I think in the grandstand I had my wife and Tom's wife sat next to each other, so hopefully they're still talking. But no, it was a great race, really happy with third, because Tom's a great driver and really quick and young and fit and relentless. So yeah, I was pleased to stay third.
That's strong championship points as well, so that's going to give you some good confidence for the next round.
Absolutely, and we made the changes, and the changes were better. Not 100% better, but we went the right direction this time, so that's a positive thing. Got these young lads now to try and catch up to, which might be a bit of a tough ask, but yeah, we're going to do our best. Good clean race.